Hello, my friends. It is once again your best friend, Justin from J Master Productions. And in this video right here, I want to be talking about the race war that's really been ignited, I would say, ever since George Floyd. Now, listen, I understand that there's always going to be racist people no matter what. You can make being racist or prejudiced completely illegal, and people are still going to be how they are, unfortunately. You can't really change some people's mentality no matter how much you try. Some people are always going to be stuck in a paradigm of hate. So I want to talk about not really the George Floyd incident, but I want to talk more so in recent times. I would say stemming from when Donald Trump was running again up until now, pre-election and up until this point. I have an X account, and if you don't follow me on X, please do. I will leave my username below, so please give it a follow. People got to understand that being racist, whether it's towards black people or white people, or towards Asians, towards Indians, whatever it might be, that means that there's something very wrong with you. For you to look at another human being and think that you're above them because of skin color, or because of you're from a certain area, or even because of prejudice stuff like the whole psyop with the Jews control everything, which I've made plenty of videos about how that's not exactly the case. I know damn well the many issues with Zionism, and I don't agree with it. But that doesn't mean that everyone who lives in Israel or everyone who's Jewish is a part of it. Okay, it's a scapegoat for something much bigger. Excuse me. And reminder, I am a little bit sick, so excuse me if I cough sometimes. But when it comes to the racism, what I've noticed is a lot of major influencers, micro influencers, who I've deemed them as, such as Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, Myron Gaines, Candace Owens, people like them, even Alex Jones. A lot of them push this narrative of they're trying to erase the white community. They're trying to replace us, right? Because I'm a white male. They're trying to replace us and thus and whatever they say about that, right? I don't know too much about the replacement theory. I could see why they say that because right of the stuff that's happened when Biden was in office, because they were making laws that people of color got to be in a place, women, people that identify of a specific gender and sexual preference have to be in the workplace by law, which I know Trump kind of turned around now. But here's the thing about it all. We're looking at each other too much based on very small details such as skin color, your religion, your sexual preference, your gender identity, right? These are all very ignorant ways to be looking at each other. We should be looking at each other as we're all human beings, and we all need to have the same basic needs fulfilled, such as food, water, shelter, sharing knowledge with each other, and all that. But the powers that be in this world over time have created a lot of ways to divide people, all sorts of ways, going all the way down to your favorite goddamn sports team, right? Here in the United States. I mean, I see so many fights of grown ass men fighting over their sports teams. So these micro influencers who I mentioned, and there's plenty of them out there who are even smaller than them, but mind you, they play a role in dividing the masses. These guys will put out a lot of hate saying, well, look, they're trying to replace white people and make it more so for black people. Oh, look at the black people in the hoods. They cause all this chaos and mayhem. Look at them. They're animals. They're like monkeys in their natural habitat. I mean, we see the comments everywhere. And then there's obviously the flip side with black people towards white people, and the videos of black people saying we need to exterminate all white people. They hate us. Just constant, oh, they hate us. They hate us. Look at them. They all belong in jail. They deserve to be genocided. I mean, it's really insane stuff when you think about it, because these are adults talking. These are adults that can't see past someone's skin color and just look at someone as a human. You see, hold on, I'm getting a call. Stand by. Okay, sorry about that. What I was saying was a lot of these people post these videos, and whether they believe it or not, it's kind of irrelevant because, listen, some people might not believe what they're saying. They just want to post so that their video goes viral for likes, clicks, comments, shares, all that, gain followers, gain traction to their social media platform. Some of these people might not actually believe what they're saying, but there are obviously people who do believe what they're saying. And this causes a lot of division. This is why the truth can't be found. This is why nothing ever gets settled. This is why relying on politicians is a terrible idea, because these politics stir up the pot. I mean, remember when Joe Biden a while back said, if you don't vote for me, referring to the black community, then you ain't black. I mean, how much more obvious does it have to be that these people view us as a joke? And how people are just so easily manipulated and fooled into whatever these politicians actually say. I mean, the vast majority of people believe politicians when they talk. They think they're being real, but they're just putting on a show. They're trying to push agendas forward, and it works really well, to be honest. I mean, people fall for it hook, line, and sinker. The micro-influencers play a vital role because these micro-influencers who I mentioned earlier, and others, of course, who might not be as big as the Fuenteses or Jake Shields, their job is to mislead those that were asking questions. You see, if you finally can get past the politics and all that, you're going to fall down those rabbit holes if you don't know enough already. You're going to start being, oh, well, it's all the Jews. Oh, black people are the problem. Oh, immigration's the problem. You're going to fall down these rabbit holes that, quite frankly, there's bigger pictures to these. When it comes to racism, it's all about division, which is very obvious. I shouldn't even have to explain this. But why do so-called black people act the way they do in these hoods? You know, was there maybe an agenda decades ago to put all of them there? You know, the slave trade that's been going on for centuries now with black people, putting them in certain areas, giving them gangster rap, you know, in more recent times, McDonald's and liquor stores all over, giving them a certain lifestyle. And now it's a little different because of, you know, the music videos that came about. And now we have social media that's playing a role. The whole lingo they use, their whole culture is artificially manufactured because of the influences they have. They look at people like maybe NWO. And that's back then, but more in recent times, right? I don't even know the names of a lot of these rappers, but they portray a lifestyle that might seem gangster because they got all this money, they got women, they party a lot. You know, they talk all tough, they talk with all this slang, right? And younger men in the hood look up to these guys because they wanna have money. They have nothing, so they wanna at least have money so that they can do stuff with their lives. And that's the problem. Is these young black guys have no influences. You could look at the parents, but the parents are uneducated themselves. Whether it's from back then or now, parents are uneducated and not teaching their kids. Even if you're from a rich white neighborhood, right? Because that's pretty much where I'm from. I'm from a wealthy neighborhood that was predominantly white, and my parents, nor did anyone's parents that I can think of, actually teach us real morals or any sort of truth or anything that's actual reality. They're just teaching us what the system has taught them and what they know from the system. I mean, I got thrown into a government facility when I was 5 years old, and the government basically raised me. And then when social media got big, I got raised off social media, the influences that I saw on there. It wasn't until I was 20 years old that I started asking questions and I started having a spiritual enlightenment, went down the rabbit hole of truth. By the time I was 22, I mean, I was able to talk about truth with people. And here I am, 8 years later, or not that long, 7 years, I should say, trying to wake people up through a podcast, because my first video I actually made, I was 22. I'm 28 now. I'll be 29 in a few months. And my old channel got terminated, but now I'm here, and I'm trying to get a message out. It's what I use my social media platforms for, not just for personal use, but to spread an actual message that's positive so that people could learn something. Because all we do, like I said in my last video, is we make our lives look so good. We want to have a certain image so we impress people, impress our friends, look good for strangers even, right? Impress our family. Be like, oh, look how great my life is. Look at all these friends I have. Look at my body. Look at how sexy I am. Look at how lavish my lifestyle is, right? So, it goes very deep, these topics. And some people actually believe, when it comes to the racist stuff, that people of color are the issue. People that are white are the issue. That the white man's the devil. We've heard that before. People think immigration might be an issue. Some people think the Jews are all the problems. But these are very short-sighted issues, okay? There's issues with black people. There's issues with white people in the way they think. There's issues with these black people that are thrown in the hood, and that's been a long agenda now to shape their culture, to shape the white man's mentality, thinking that they're better than black people. So here's what I really want to say, too, about racism. First of all, I saw a stat that 93% of Americans don't identify as being racist. They consider themselves non-racist. So that means you have 7% of this country that's racist. And I would assume most of that is in the deep south. Because I'm from New Jersey. Most people, I never have really seen any racist things happen. I've never seen a black person be called the N-word. I've never called a black person the N-word. There might have been white jokes that were thrown at me from black people. But no one has ever actually tried being racist towards me. That's not white, you know. It's mainly all on the internet. People being racist is cool on the internet. People don't have the guts to do it in real life, because if you do it in real life, there's probably going to be repercussions, and people don't want to face those repercussions. So it's easier to sit back behind a screen from an anonymous account. Whether your account is anonymous or not, you're still behind a screen. But most of these people that are racist or prejudiced are hiding behind an anonymous account, not their real name, no profile picture of them. Maybe it's a cartoon character, and they talk about how, black people are like 9% of the population, but commit 75% of crimes, whatever the stat is. That overthrown stat that people that are not black always seem to use. There's even black people that use that stat. Hell, I've seen black people be racist towards other black people. And I can understand why it might seem like, black people are the problem, but it's really not black people that are the problem. It's really you that's the problem. All of us are the problem, because we can't see the forest for the trees. We can't see the truth. I can see the truth, but most people around me, 9 out of 10 people I know around me, cannot see the truth. They're still caught up in politics. They're still trying to vote. They're still trying to work around the system. They don't see what's coming in this world. They don't understand how these algorithms that are controlled by the powers that be, the same people I always talk about in my videos, everything stems from them. If they control the algorithms, they control the minds of the people. It's very simple. If you can control the flow of information, you can control and manipulate how a society thinks and acts. Let's say, for example, I controlled all the algorithms on all social media platforms, and I controlled what artificial intelligence, the answers that they gave to questions people asked. Do you know how much power I would have? I would have people eating out of my hands if that was the case. And that's exactly what the powers that be have. They have the power to completely sway people's minds and make them think a certain way, and even act a certain way, and react to certain things that they hear or see. People are racist and prejudiced on the internet. That's really what it is in 2025. It's really, you don't see it too much in person. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in person, but it's pretty rare. Maybe if you go to the deep south, like one of these towns here, you might experience racism. But guess what? The vast majority of cities, of towns in the United States are not racist like that. It's cool. It's like the cool thing now to blame the Jews, right? And it's the cool thing now to be racist. And again, this is on the internet. But I guess it shows what maybe a lot of people are closeted racist. I guess that's what it is. A lot of people are closeted racist, meaning they don't have the courage to do it in real life. They don't have the courage even maybe to admit it. But if they were to have an anonymous account on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, maybe they would actually be pretty racist. And are these people really racist, or are they just getting fed that, propaganda that, look, black people are the problem, Indian people are the problem, immigration's an issue, Jews are the cause of all the world's issues and do all these bad things? Listen, I understand the arguments, I really truly do, but these are manufactured problems that are not organic, they're artificial. And the government, your lovely government that loves you so much, that cares about you so much, is here to offer you the solution to the problems that they caused in the first place. Isn't that great? Isn't that just wonderful? So, I mean, I guess that's really what I want to say about racism. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, if you're still going to be racist in 2025, you got a lot of mental work to do. You really need to turn inwards and look at yourself spiritually, and ask, have I really gone far enough when it comes to truth? Do I really know it all? Because most of these people out here, like the micro influencers, they might have good information, they might make good points, they might touch on some topics and say things that are true, but in the end, they're misleading you. They're leading you down the wrong rabbit holes, and most of all, they're making you hate specific groups. Doesn't matter what group it is, if you're hating a specific group and blaming a specific group for all the world's problems, you're being misled. Because the powers that be is an occult. They're a network of all sorts of people who work together, who are not divided the way me and you are, who have certain morals, and I shouldn't even say they're moral, but they have certain codes and ethics that they follow that are immoral, but they follow it to a T, which is why they're all connected and stay together, and which is why they're kicking our ass, and which is why most of us who don't know any morality, any true morality, are getting our ass kicked by them. I mean, people are so deceived, as I've said many times, that they're probably not going to come out of it. I mean, we deserve, honestly, as a human species, we deserve what we have coming to us. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. We can only speculate. But we know the agendas, right? We don't know what agenda they're going to throw. They could cut off the whole entire power and internet, and we could be in a blackout for a couple months. Literally right now it could happen. We don't know. That's why you have to be prepared. That's why you have to constantly be curious and seek the truth and admit that you're wrong if you're wrong. Because I don't have the full scope of things. I'm not perfect. I don't have every single solution for the world's problem, but I know I'm not ignorant. I know I have better solutions than your politicians, than your average everyday Joe out here. Because I'm someone who has done the research and has humbled myself to say I'm wrong, and has opened up my mind and my heart to what is true. So that's all I'm going to say in this. I hope I said something that makes sense and makes you do further research. And if you are a racist or prejudiced person, you should really think twice. Because again, blaming any specific group or hating a specific group for whatever reason is not the right thing.